Tzu Chi volunteers rushed to an elderly home which is flooded in Johor Bahru to care for the affected elders. In our feature report, we take a look at adopting a new creative curriculum in a typical elementary school. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Ruby Ng. Thank you for joining us. At the start of 2021, it rained for 2 days in southern Malaysia, and many areas in Johor Bahru were flooded. In Skudai, a nursing home was affected. Upon receiving the news, Tzu Chi volunteers rushed there to provide help immediately. Here is like a vast ocean with objects floating in the water. This was originally the parking lot of Sampu Old Folks Home in Skudai, Johor Bahru.
The elders living here have been moved to the elementary school already. Yesterday, it only flooded in the back, not to our side in front. This only started in the morning. What we need the most now are some towels for the elderly so that they can wipe their bodies or take a shower.
The elderly and those with mobility issues were evacuated, yet there was no time to move daily supplies in the elderly home to a safe place.
Towels, shampoo, shower gel, toothpaste, and toothbrushes are all gone. These elders, more than 50 people, were moved to the auditorium opposite the elementary school temporarily, so I need some sanitizing solution to help clean the whole auditorium and the toilets.
Recently, the pandemic in Johor Bahru has begun to rise again. Volunteers are worried that the health of the elderly will be affected. Using the list provided by the nursing home, within the shortest possible time, they went to a supermarket to buy sufficient personal hygiene items.
Because of the pandemic, the Ministry of Health restricted our volunteers from entering to care for the elderly, so we can't meet them. We can only provide them with those things in shortage. We'll be in close contact with the director of the nursing home for any upcoming conditions.
Volunteers sent the elderly supplies to solve their immediate problems temporarily and gave the helpless elderly solid support. In December 2020, floods occurred in Indonesia's Tanjung, Balai. More than 10,000 local residents were forced to evacuate from their homes. Tzu Chi volunteers headed over to provide care and delivered aid supplies for the flood-affected residents. Here's more.
As water levels have reached knee-deep, the roads have turned into rivers. Back when the river overflowed, the water level was once as high as 1.5 meters. 10 days have passed and the town is still immersed in water.
Around 4 o'clock in the morning, water started to flood into the house, so we immediately evacuated.
As the local residents were unable to head back to their homes and unable to work, life has become even tougher for them.
The flood waters haven't receded. Therefore, many locals have not been working for the past week.
After volunteers assessed the situation, they immediately prepared the aid supplies to be distributed, which included rice, cooking oil, sugar, and vegetarian noodles, distributing to every family affected by the flood.
We really feel happy and touched because people from various places have come here to help with the disaster. Besides providing aid supplies, you have also provided spiritual assistance, comforting the hearts of the affected residents.
As volunteers travel through the flood waters and handing over the aid supplies, this act of kindness and care have accompanied the local residents, making the challenges at hand not challenging anymore.
A rental apartment located in the basement in Yonghe, near Taipei City, saw a fire break out in late December. There were no casualties. However, the entire place was burned beyond recognition. Affected residents asked Tzu Chi for assistance. More than 30 volunteers went there to clean, giving the residents peace of mind. On the basement first floor, from the ceiling, walls, furniture to the floor, everything was burnt completely.
The fire broke out on December 26 at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The house owner asked Tzu Chi to come help and clean.
Once the task was taken, Tzu Chi volunteers needed to clear out large furniture in the house. Yet, volunteers have an average age of 60. How could they do it? Yu Songjian, a Tzu Chi volunteer who runs a moving company, brought his young and strong staff there to do professional clean-up, while volunteers did detailed cleaning, making the work go efficiently.
Tzu Chi volunteers came to help us, allowing us to resume living in our house relatively fast. I don't know what to say. Anyway, a million thanks.
We want to help the neighbors, so today we have mobilized more than 30 Tzu Chi brothers and sisters to come to help them clear out the garbage.
Tzu Chi brothers and sisters worked really hard. It took about 2 hours to finish.
It took more than 2 hours of volunteers' tough work to finish the clean-up, yet no one complained about anything, because once again, they have accomplished the mission of helping others. In Taoyuan, a Tzu Chi care recipient, 93-year-old Grandma Jian, lives with her second son who is ill. With poor health, she is unable to clean her house. More than 40 Tzu Chi volunteers went there to help with cleaning and repair the damages. They also installed an iron door and safety handrails, filling her house with warmth and love.
There are many things piled up in the house, and the light cannot shine into it. The space on the first floor is dark and damp. Taoyuan Tzu Chi volunteers were mobilized to give 93-year-old Grandma Jian a special New Year gift.
Grandma is 93 years old and suffers from knee degeneration. We worried that she would fall, so we have mobilized more than 40 volunteers, including carpenters, iron workers, plumbers, and electricians. Our Tzu Chi brothers, who have different professions, came to make a safe living environment for the grandma.
Volunteers proceeded with cleaning step by step. First, they cleared out the clutter and did a general cleaning. One team cleaned the furniture outside the house, while the other team did repairing inside.
4 members of our family came here today. Nowadays, children's lives are too comfortable. I just want to show them different experiences.
I used to have a fear of heights, but now when volunteer with Tzu Chi, I'm not. I have courage and I'm happy to do it.
I don't know how long the inside of the big stuff hasn't been cleaned, so everyone helped clean it up.
After doing thorough cleaning, volunteers cared about the grandma's home safety, so they installed handrails for her. When everything was done, the grandma's face was filled with satisfaction. After cleaning, the whole house is like a brand new one. Volunteers also brought in second-hand sofa and cupboard to decorate the house.
I'm really grateful to you. Thank you. My mom is so happy. Thank you very much.
Volunteers' loving action and reminders filled this house with warmth again.
In Sierra Leone, Tzu Chi once again cooperated with Caritas, the Healy Foundation, and the Nanyi Foundation to help residents with disabilities at Polio community in Grafton, building 10 toilets and a well, so that they don't have to travel far to fetch water. It also helps improve the hygiene of the community.
Son of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Well, SGD 6 clearly speaks about access to water, clean water, and sanitation. And as a complementary organizations or a partnership, we believe that we have a responsibility to support government's efforts. And so part of what we do today is part of the actions that we have done over the period to support government's action. And hence, essentially, the Partnering to Serve Humanity, led by Lan Yi Foundation, with funding from the Buddhist Tzu Chi Foundation, provided the support after we did an assessment and identified that there was need for us to provide wash facility for the disabled within this community here in Grafton.
We are happy. We are happy because it has been suffering all these past years for us. Getting water, enough toilet facilities, because this is a huge community. And we have plenty of people in this community. We are talking about, for the association of itself, we have a membership of 150 members. Not to talk about the able around us. And we have other communities around us that comes here to get this water and to use the toilet, because we all feel the same thing. So the opportunity is huge. We are happy. I am happy as chairman.
Thank you. Thanks to the master. Thanks to you, Ashley, Deborah, and every one of you at Tzu Chi. We appreciate you. We love you.
The 12-year education curriculum guideline has been debated for 10 years and 7 different education ministers. In our upcoming series, we'll look at what changes have been made to schools to change them from a test-based system to education that is practical and useful. Upgrading the curriculum for all students will allow young people to learn more creatively as well as seek personal interests. Here's a look at this curriculum in action at a typical elementary school.
In this first grade classroom at Taipei Wenhua Elementary School, the teacher is instructing in English and the students are enthusiastically responding. This class is not an English class, but actually a math class.
This is a new challenge for me. I just try to learn what I'm teaching. For example, in my second grade class yesterday, I'm still learning English for equilateral triangle and isosceles triangle. This is a new way of education and I'm still very happy.
Learning to read the clock with corresponding illustrations on the blackboard to convey a typical day. The teacher keeps raising questions to make everyone think. This is part of the 12-year education curriculum guideline that advocates quality-oriented teaching.
The new curriculum seems to emphasize literacy. It just hopes to be able to give basic knowledge and practical applications in various fields.
Wenhua Elementary School also uses immersive English courses to make this foreign language more practical.
In the process, these students will not feel that learning English is a burden to them or something painful, because it's naturally combined with art and craft and presented together. It is much more practical and will to them, making a deeper impression.
Through a teacher's guidance, you can learn and use it immediately, and they can slowly keep up with this. In this case, learning in various fields in real-life situations is the most consistent part of the quality of the 12-year education curriculum guideline.
Breaking the learning mode of simple memorization and constant exams, the goal of the 12-year education curriculum guideline includes self-motivation, more communication and interaction, social participation in 3 major categories and 9 major subjects, referred to as physical literacy by many advanced countries as one of the curriculum goals, so physical education can also be taught in English.
Now, press the fingers go. Now, touch the floor. Go, 3, 2, 3, 4.
The difference between physical education and other subjects is that in addition to core literacy, it also emphasizes physical literacy. How do you show cognitive ability and skills you want in your sports or class?
Physical education is no longer just purely playing and running around, but will this new practice increase the burden on teachers?
When each teacher wants to participate in this type of education, at the beginning, we start with simple instruction language or lesson style. We practice this slowly. We also often have groups to prepare classes together, including physical education teachers and English teachers. We prepare together and discuss with each other. We'll produce lesson plans for the course and figure out how to make it closer to a student's life.
This collaborative teaching method allows teachers to complement each other and exchange different ideas. In addition, the new syllabus also sets a precedent by including languages of the new immigrants from 7 Southeast Asian countries. Balai Elementary School in Taipei City offers Vietnamese language courses and small class instruction. The instructors are authentic Vietnamese who have lived in Taiwan for more than 20 years. Through this class, they hope that new immigrants' children can learn their family language and cultivate international literacy.
When we are teaching, for example, when we teach them about foods, we'll talk about special Vietnamese delicacies. We can talk about what we eat. For example, if you like French bread, how would you say French bread?
According to statistics in 2019, the number of new immigrant second-generation elementary school students is 91,388. The proportion where one parent is from Southeast Asia is as high as 91%. Vietnamese and Indonesian nationals are the top two as the promotion of the new curriculum promotes multiculturalism. Many schools have long been ahead of other schools in this category.
If we wait until the new curriculum starts and we will start to implement it, then there will potentially be a situation when it is too late to prepare. So we will start in 2017 offering new immigrant language courses.
Through the school's creativity and dedication, language learning is seamlessly integrated into daily learning, making students more and more interested in coursework. At present, knowledge is no longer the only main focus. Instead, it is hoped that children can learn from experience and be better prepared to face challenges in their future life. Education hopes to give these children the keys to explore the world with an open mind.
Tzu Chi continued to send winter warmth in China. No matter how far and hard the journey is, volunteers still get through. This is the 12th year for Tzu Chi to send warmth to Yi County, Hebei Province. Volunteers spent 2 days sending 4,265 winter supplies to the needy families in 5 townships. With a temperature of -9 degrees Celsius, Tzu Chi volunteers set off before dawn and arrived in the mountains of Yi County just after sunrise. This is an annual agreement between Tzu Chi volunteers and villagers in Yi County, Hebei Province. Starting from 2009, for 12 years already, volunteers in blue and white uniforms will appear when the new year comes.
Taiwan Tzu Chi Foundation is doing so well. I, Liu Duoxiang, am wholeheartedly grateful for you.
For the sake of epidemic prevention, everyone needs to wear masks when collecting supplies, no matter if he is a volunteer or a villager. This year, apart from Tzu Chi volunteers, many local leaders and residents also came to join the ranks of helpers, providing mutual assistance.
As the grassroots secretary of the village, I want to bring this kind of unity, coordination, and family affection into my work and spread out the love when I go back.
I kept staying here to arrange the rice. I'm the last one in the village to collect it, and it's the village leader who called me to collect. Otherwise, I'll keep staying here to help.
As the volunteers said, the villagers in the mountains are like distant family members of Tzu Chi volunteers. Although it is far away, nothing can stop them from coming. This year, there are a total of 6 collection points in Yi County. Weidu Township, which is the first time to receive the supplies for such a large number of people.
Although more than 3,000 people were involved in this event, we divided into several batches and tried to gather as few people as possible so as to ensure everyone's safety.
To serve elderly villagers, volunteers cared for them one-on-one. Some helped carry rice, while some gave out New Year blessings.
In fact, it's fine to go elsewhere during the holiday, yet we also have to join some activities to help seniors and villagers when we are available. I feel very blessed.
Volunteers and villagers in the mountains are like family members reuniting, and the love that has lasted for 12 years being endless. In Penang, Malaysia, Island Hospital donated over 100 old computers to the Tzu Chi Recycling Education Center. These computers will be cleaned and upgraded and then sent to schools for impoverished students to use.
As technology keeps advancing, how do we handle our computers which are outdated?
In our hospital, there is a batch of old computers. Today we invited Tzu Chi volunteers over to collect these computers. To be honest, they are quite old, but I think that they can still be used to help those who are in need. I think it's not time to recycle them yet.
130 CPUs and 150 monitors have been donated. Tzu Chi volunteers and hospital staff are moving back and forth in the hospital just to transport and care for these computers, which are going to be given new lives.
We have about 7 to 8 volunteers today. In total, we used around 2 hours to move these computers. We carried it to the lift, traveled down 6 floors, and then moved it onto the truck. We repeated this process many times. These computers will need to be cleaned and processed to ensure that they can still function normally. I'm very grateful that there are many volunteers here today to help out with this task. Although we're all covered in sweat, we are full of Dharma joy.
For this volunteer, Brother Xiao, what he cares most is the children's education. He hopes that after these computers are fixed, the children are able to have better resources in their education.
We're hoping that we can head into the poor and rural villages and send these computers to the schools where Tzu Chi has accompanied them. If they lack these computer resources, we can send these computers over because children's education is a hope for a better future.
By reusing these old computers, not only can we extend its lifespan, but it can also provide hope to the impoverished children.
In Singapore, due to the pandemic, the Tzu Chi class has turned into monthly online lessons. With the efforts from Tzu Chi volunteers and Tzu teens, these Tzu Chis have learned a lot. On the final class for 2020, they shared their experiences, leaving unforgettable memories.
Through interesting games, the students are recapping the things they have learned for the past year. Abiding to the pandemic prevention measures, 84 Tzu Shaos held their class completion ceremony at different places.
首先要把我们慈少的心安住，然后要把一些疫情怎么样去面对它的这些方法，告诉我们慈少，所以就用了很多的一些线上的课程。
In order to instill optimistic values in their courses, Tzu Chings and volunteers have thought of various ways to enable the Tzu Shaos to learn with joy.
Through the online lessons, we'll think of various ways to act and teach the Tzu Shaos. We also try to make the games more fun so that they can play and learn through technology.
在这些年来的近视与教学中，让我学到了很多东西。
A Tzu Shao who is graduating soon also shares her experience. Qiu Jiaxuan, who has been participating in the Tzu Shao class for 4 years, have not only learned how to donate into the bamboo coin bank, but also uses her skills to help others in need.
I created an Instagram account to sell my handmade notebooks online. All the profits will then be donated to Tzu Chi because I want to help those who are in need.
As the students mature through the Tzu Shao class, all the things they have learned will be in their hearts forever, accompanying them as they continue growing.
Tzu Chi Foundation has sent 40,000 COVID-19 diagnostic kits to Bolivia to help with epidemic prevention. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.